What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king. Welcome back to more Let's Play Horizon Forbidden West. In the last episode, we finally got finished up over at Legacy's Landfall. Made a couple of detours once we got back to the mainland. Did a little bit of exploring, found ourselves some weird ancient house. We went through a sunken cavern, all a bunch of good stuff. It was a longer than normal episode. Today, we are finally back. We are going to be doing the Gemini quest here. Level 30 main quest. We're here at the base. But before we actually start it, real quick, I'm going to put some skill points into a few things. Let's start with Survivor here, which is my least used spot. I'm going to actually get some low health melee going there. Shredder Mine. Oh, these are the burst dodge. What is this one? That's a blasting lava burst of bombs in front of you while automatically dodging backwards. That could be honestly pretty nice. So that's a pretty cool skill. Let's go down a little further this way. Another low health melee boost. I will take that. As far as the actual rest of these are concerned, not going to mess with that. Let's learn that skill really quickly here. We got a few other things here, all Shredder Gauntlet related stuff that I'm not super into. Let's go back on over here to this. We got Workbench Answer, craft ammunition at the workbench using less resources than in the wilds. I mean, not that I use that very often, but hey, it is something. We also got triple notch for our hunter bow. Pretty much all that I'm missing at this point are skills. I'm going to go into this one real fast. So Resilient Trapper, take less damage and trigger your own trapper tripwire. I will take them. The food duration bump, why not? Let's just get those out of the way. And then, yeah, I think all that's left now is Valor Surges and weapon techniques themselves, which I am not really messing with too much. I can go to Machine Master really quickly and see if there's anything here. We got Chain Burst, which is interesting, as well as Part Breaker. Nothing really in Infiltrator. Yeah, I think for the most part, we're just going to be spending it on the big boys now. So let's, I'm going to put 5 of those into Sticky Bomb, and I think that should be about it for everything I want to use my skill points on. All right, now let's head on into the base and tell them that we got the Omega clearance, because this is what we needed to actually do this thing. I do want to check, though, with my overrides really quickly, though, going in here and seeing what I'm actually missing or if there's any that I can actually craft at the moment. Okay, Aaron, that's old news. We've already been over this. Let's see. I'm going to just check it really quickly. Maybe there's something I can get out of the chest, too. Fabrication Terminal. Okay, so if there's a bunch that I can actually get here. Holy crap. I don't have enough sack webbing for those two. I can do the Wide Maw override, so let's do that one. I can do the Stalker override. All these are going to be nice. Spike Snout override, Snap Maw override. That's a nice one to have. Sky Drifter override. Cool, cool. Shell Snapper override. That's a big one. We got a Scrapper one. I mean, a lot of these are parts that come from them. Scorcher override. I don't know if I want to use that primary nerve, but I guess I will just in case. Rollerback override. Absolutely. I got a Ravager one. Yeah, let's craft all these things. Why the heck not? These are going to be really nice. So all of those are done. You can see we've only got 2 left to do, and then a few more empty ones, about 5 left, which I do believe we need to do more cauldrons to do. I have not really fought a whole lot of Bellowbacks in this game, and I think I've only fought a handful of Fireclaws, but apparently have not gotten enough sack webbing to make that happen. So with all of that done, let me check our little rewards chest here. Hey, there is something in here. Let's take it. What we got? Ooh, elite traps, acid, purge water, and vertical shock traps, as well as a bunch of treasures and metal shards. So we got some more trap recipes as well. Those could definitely come in handy. Alva, you're here. Let's talk. I didn't know you were going to be hanging out in this room.
Aloy!
Right to work, I see.
There's just so much. I mean, we knew of artificial beings that served the ancestors, but Gaia? Oh, she's amazing! And you, a true reincarnation of an ancestor. Genetically speaking, of course, not like the, late CO. And there's more ancestors out there, returned from beyond the stars. Of course, they're trying to kill us, which is not great. And Eric Visser is with them, which is disturbing. And then there's Hephaestus, and...
Okay. How about we take it one step at a time?
You're right. I also owe you an explanation for everything that happened at Landfall.
Okay, so I actually am going to do a little bit of talking with Alva just because we've never gotten this opportunity with her. She's brand new here. We've had all of our dialogues with everyone else around the base. It's time to talk to Alva about some of this stuff. So let's start with the exclusive stuff, the Quen. I'm gonna actually, I want answers about all this stuff.
Back at the greenhouse, you spoke of knowledge forbidden to your people.
Diviners are meant to seek out the truth in the legacy, and many Imperials sponsor them in the hopes they'll find something the Empire can put to use, thus gaining favor with the Emperor. But the Board of Overseers claims certain truths are detrimental to the stability of the Empire, like discovering one of our revered ancestors ended the world. That is why Diviners are only allowed to access segments of the legacy. Only Overseers can view it all. It ensures that any heretical data can be contained and retrieved before it can spread.
What happens to Diviners who break the rules?
I never had the courage to ask.
You said you owed me an explanation for what happened in Thebes. I'm listening.
Right. I'll start at the beginning with the CEO. He was an Imperial, the Emperor's nephew, in fact. As such, he sponsored many Diviners to search the legacy for anything that might help the tribe, and himself. He took a special interest in anything related to Ted Faro, whom we consider the greatest of the ancestors.
Ted Faro, revered ancestor. That's tough to take.
I know better now, of course. Anyway, the Diviners discovered that Faro spent a great deal of time in San Francisco. In fact, many of the most important ancestors did. So the Emperor's nephew convinced him that an expedition across the ocean might solve our most pressing problems. If only we could find the right data in this fabled city. Perhaps we could roll back the floods and storms that threatened our people. The Emperor declared that all the tribe's resources be poured into this endeavor. Dozens of ships were built, scouting missions were dispatched, and the Emperor's nephew was named CEO, one who wields the legacy for the good of the Empire. The living embodiment of Ted Faro, the Renewer. It may seem strange now, but for a time, he carried all of our hopes. We really believed he would save us. We had no idea just how perilous the journey would be.
You said the expedition across the sea was more dangerous than you thought it would be. What happened?
We lost most of our ships to hurricanes, and scores of soldiers perished to hunger and disease. And that was before we even hit the coast. Once we landed, machines ripped our patrols apart, and we struggled to replenish our rations. There were bright spots, to be sure. We found Thebes and the greenhouse. But nothing improved the CEO's mood as his dreams of saving the tribe were slowly dashed. He became more and more obsessed with Thebes and what lay behind its door. And more convinced that the title of CEO was no mere honorific. You heard him, spouting nonsense about Pharaoh's essence and some kind of becoming. We knew these weren't the words of a sane man, but he was quick to put any who spoke out in front of a firing squad.
What a great guy.
The Quen are wrong about many things when it comes to the legacy. I can see that now. But what the CEO became was a complete perversion of what principal diviners stand for. The pursuit of truth. I'm sorry you had to endure his madness. I'm just glad it's over. For everyone.
So, Bohai, your overseer. Will he run things better than CEO?
He won't execute people on a whim, if that's what you mean. But he's hardly a paragon of integrity. I can't tell you how many times he took credit for data in the legacy that I uncovered. The best thing I can say about him is that he can be trusted to always do what's best for him.
Yep, sounds about right. The ancestors, is that what your people call the old ones?
Yes and no. The ancestors are the greatest of the old ones. Those whose legacy taught us agriculture, medicine, warfare, leadership, and patronage of the science and arts.
The CEO called Elizabeth Sobek an assistant. What's that about?
Right. Well, any old one who has made minor contributions or worked extensively under one of the ancestors is called an assistant. That's how we thought of Sobek. Until we met you. Our limited access to data past the late 2040s has obviously misinformed our view of the past.
You mentioned the reason you came here was to help your family. Your sister...
Her name is Alika. Our parents are commoners, peasants, really. When I passed the divination exams, they were so proud. It brought honor to our family and increased rations. Only Alika begged me not to leave for the research academy.
Why? What happens there?
Alika knew that once you enter, you're not allowed to leave or see anyone, not even your family. Unless you can get special permission and an escort by an overseer.
That sounds harsh.
Like the focuses we keep, diviners are few in number, and the Empire is, well, fearful that outsiders will try to steal our knowledge. Last time I was allowed to see my family was just before our voyage here. Because of my position, I was able to get them refuge from the floods within the capital. But if our crops don't recover soon, they'll starve to death along with everyone else.
I promise I'll do my best to make sure it doesn't come to that.
All right, I'm gonna do just a little bit in regards to all of this stuff here, and then we'll move on, I promise.
You mentioned Eric Visser? How do you know about him?
The Zenith who tried to kill you? He is known to the Quen as the Protector. Combing through data related to his work led us to breakthroughs related to weapons and military tactics. Knowledge our rulers used to conquer and expand, to become the empire we are today. That's why he's one of our most revered ancestors. But based on your encounter with him, it appears he's even more ruthless than we ever imagined. Yet another distorted interpretation in the legacy.
Well, at least you're piecing together the truth.
If only the overseers back home would do the same.
Beta mentioned other Zeniths. Tilda, Verbena, and Gerard.
I'm afraid I don't know anything about them. Whatever legacy they left behind, the diviners haven't recovered.
I see you've been using your new focus.
It's been fascinating. So much better than the version the Quen have. What would have taken me years to sort through, like the database you helped me recover, with this, I've been able to establish search parameters to speed up the process. This could revolutionize how diviners analyze the legacy. That is, whatever part of it the overseers would actually let us study.
I imagine you don't know anyone here that well yet, but they're a good group.
It's funny because one of your friends is, well, another you. Not that you are the same person at all. I mean, you are, as in, you're both genetically Elizabeth Sobek, but even so, you're different.
Yeah, we are. I hope everyone's been treating you okay.
Oh, yeah, of course. They've all been extremely welcoming. And they share the knowledge they learn on their focuses with each other freely. It's refreshing. Back home, diviners can only share data with the permission from the overseers.
Sounds restrictive and stifling.
Yeah, you are not wrong.
You wanted data, you'll find lots of it here.
A diviner has never had this sort of unsupervised access to archives such as this. And knowing you, I suspect there is much that would normally be forbidden held within them. But I was sent here to help you. I would be remiss to ignore any truth laid before me. Maybe it'll help the Quen find their way back to the path of truth.
That's the hope. All right.
I need to get going, but if you need anything...
All I need is to help you succeed in your mission. The plan Gaia told me about, to capture Hephaestus, it will help set things right.
I hope so.
Then I will do whatever I can. I promise.
All right, there we go. That was a lot of dialogue we got from Alva there, but honestly warranted given the fact that we have talked to her significantly less than we have anyone else. All right, now we can finally head on up to Gaia, and we can inform her on the situation as well as everybody else and get this started. Here we go. I know I have another drone I can put in, but I'm not even going to worry about it at the moment.
Aloy, I know your experience in Thebes was unsettling, but we have a new problem.
Did something go wrong with Beta and the rig? Will we be able to transport you to Gemini?
The rig is complete. The problem is Hephaestus itself. It has accelerated its proliferation throughout the Cauldron network, increasing its power.
But with your sub-functions restored, we can still succeed, right?
Correct. But the net effect is that absorbing Hephaestus will take longer than previously calculated.
How long?
Even with Omega clearance, my current estimate is that the merge will take 35 hours.
And each hour increases the risk of detection by the Zeniths. Two cores. Two overrides. What if the merge were carried out by two clones of Elizabeth Sobek, both armed with Omega clearance? How long then? Half the time?
Hephaestus would be unprepared for the simultaneous labor of two operators, in addition to obvious synergetic efficiencies. Calculating. It would reduce the merge time to approximately 4.5 hours.
Okay. Varl, it looks like we're gonna need Beta at Gemini. Do you think you can convince her?
I don't know, but I'll try.
What about our diversion? Are the pulse generators ready?
Only a final test remains. I am confident that if fired in proximity to other cauldrons, the pulses will mask our activities at Gemini from the Zeniths.
Good. As long as Aaron can operate one without shooting himself in the face.
Aloy, you better get down here. Beta's in bad shape.
Okay.
Oh, what now? This is not good. Let's see. All right. We're here, Varl. We're here.
I tried, but it's impossible. I don't think anything will convince her to go.
We don't have a choice.
Good luck.
Beta, you have to come with us. It's the only way. It's one mission. The most important one. We need you. Tell me why you won't go. What if they take me back? Alone, in a cell again. Their slave. Forever. The only way we can end the risk of that happening is by stopping the Zeniths for good. And in order to do that, we have to get Hephaestus. The Zeniths are a threat to everyone, Beta, not just you. So find your courage.
That's easy for you to say.
You still have no idea what they're capable of. I told you from the beginning we'll never beat them. It's hopeless. Beta.
Leave me alone! You don't understand!
You're right. I don't understand. We have the same genes, the same mind, the same heart. So why can't you find the strength to do what has to be done? Like Elizabeth would. Don't you think I've thought about that? I don't know what piece of Elizabeth I'm missing. I don't know what you have that I don't. I look through all the data from your focus. You were raised as an outcast, shunned, and isolated just like me, so what's the difference? What's my defect? Beta. You don't have a defect. Beta. Look, it's not a piece of Elizabeth. The difference is, I had him. Frost. He raised you, trained you, but he was never warm or loving. The day he died, the day he gave you that charm, he was going to abandon you. He wanted me to embrace the tribe. But then he gave his life for mine. He loved me in his own way. And that was enough. What did it feel like? It was like having the strength that was always there. It's still there. Even now I hear him in my head when things get bad. But it looks impossible. Look deeper. And then fight like you can win. You don't have to go on the mission. We'll find another way. I'll go. You're right. I'll only be safe from them when we succeed. But you have to promise me one thing. Yes, of course. If it goes bad, if the Zeniths find us, I don't want to be their slave again. Do you understand? Okay. Promise? I promise. I could use as much time as you can give me to study up on the merge, to make it as efficient as possible. I'll be ready when you are. I swear.
Well, hope you're ready fast.
Whenever you're ready, come speak to me and I'll ask the others to make final preparations for the mission.
Sure, but we seem to have a quest available. I'm wondering, is this Alva? I do believe it is. I guess we'll talk to her really quickly before we get started in the next episode. But you know what, Beta? I'll give you a whole whatever the time is between this episode and the next to get ready, because we're going to be jumping right on into this in the next episode. We'll pick up this quest from Alva to start that episode, and then we will actually be jumping on into the main quest, whatever it takes. Maybe I should honestly even wait on that. Probably would be a good idea. We'll be jumping in quick next time, I promise you. So with all that said, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this episode very, very much, and I will see you all in the next one.